Shalom and blessings to you all, saints. Welcome to this broadcast. Welcome to yet another moment where we can have intense, meaningful, holy, righteous discussions about the mind of our Father, Yahweh, concerning us. I am in the middle of a workday, so I just popped in to speak with you all, and probably have to head back out, or more than likely I would. But I would not allow that which was imparted to me to not be delivered to you. As the Apostle Shaul have said, that which I received, he would have received from the Lord, Yeshua, the same he's delivering to the people. I can say the same today. That which I have received from Yahweh, I will deliver to you at this time. I bid you shalom. I'm using a different device, so I don't know how it's going to stand up in reference to this broadcast, but let's try. I don't know how long the battery's going to last, because the iPhones now, they have a battery issue, so let's see. Blessings and shalom. I don't know if it's going to run hot. I don't know what's going to happen to the phone, but let's try. Blessings. Can you hear me clearly? And can you also see me clearly? I trust that you can. We're speaking today to Yahweh's people must see him as holy. Now, there are those of you who are waiting for me at 2 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, but so much has happened and so much has been happening today. I'd be grateful if you can therefore inform the others who are normally here with us that we are ready for our time of fellowship. Please tag them, message them, whatever you do, to let them know that we're here. And I thank you for your patience. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for the feedback. It's all clear. Yahweh's people must see him as holy. Must. There is a particular impression, and today's broadcast has so much to do with leadership. I bid you all shalom, and I must say to you that, thank you, Deborah, thank you for sharing, that the mind of Yahweh remains on his people. He loves you. He loves us as his people, and there's a holy, which means different, which means to be set apart. There's a holy standard that he has set for us. It is inescapable, if you're a saint, for you to function beyond that standard. There is a righteous way that he has established for us, and we must adhere to that way. Permit me, therefore, to speak to you regarding the mind of our Father. Shalom. Numbers chapter 20, from verse number 1. The people of Israel, the whole community, entered the Zin desert in the first month. So they're now out of bondage. They're free. Shalom, shalom, and blessings to you all. And they entered into this Zin desert. They stayed in Kadesh. There, Miriam died, and there she was buried. That's one of the leaders of Israel now. Moshe's sister. Moshe and Aaron's sister. Verse 2. Because the community had no water. I want you all to hear this. Because the community had no water, they assembled themselves against Moshe and Aaron. Because they had no water, They assembled themselves against their leaders. Trust that you can hear me well, and I trust that you can see me clearly. Because the community, the freed people, the people who were no longer slaves. I've been working all day, so if you see me looking kind of sweaty, have mercy. Don't kill me today. The people who were free of bondage, and send the messages around, Pastor Woods and others, let the others know that I'm here. We're on today. The people who were free, the people who saw the power of Yahweh. Prophetess Adelia, shalom, shalom. I just started sandals. Shalom, my sister. Good to see you. You made it just in time. Excellent. The people who were free, we in Numbers chapter 20. Those individuals who saw the Red Sea part by Moshe raising that rod, they saw the sea close and killed Pharaoh's army. They saw miracle after miracle. Good to see you, Sandal. Those individuals, when they had no water, the second time, they assembled themselves against Moshe and against Aaron. The people quarreled. Numbers 20 verse 3. The people quarreled with Moshe and said, "We wish we had died when our brothers died before Yahweh." My goodness. Why did you bring Yahweh's community into this desert? To die there? We and our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt? To bring us to this terrible place, without seeds, figs, grapevines, pomegranates, or even water to drink. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Moshe and Aaron left the assembly and went to the entrance of the tent of meeting and fell there on their faces. And the glory of Yahweh appeared to them. Verse number 6. The people gathered themselves to oppose Moshe and Aaron, to despise Yahweh, to say that Yahweh, brought us out here for us to die. And when Moshe faced that degree of rebellion, opposition, Moshe decided, along with Aaron, they left the people. They went to the door or the entrance of the tabernacle. They fell on their faces. And the glory of Yahweh appeared to them. I hope that somebody has already begun to receive what I said to you. When the people began to complain and to argue and to oppose and disrespect Moshe and Aaron, they didn't say anything to the people. They went to the tent of meetings. They went to what's called the tabernacle. They lay there on their faces. And the glory of Yahweh. Shalom, Alison, shalom. Alicia, shalom, sister. The glory of Yahweh appeared to them. Saints, Saints of the Most High Yahweh. Oh, wow. Yahweh must be seen as holy. Leaders who are on this broadcast today, you have a very, very critical role as it relates to the entire body of Messiah and those whom we serve and we lead. That responsibility is to ensure that Yahweh is seen as being holy, different from every other God. It is your responsibility to ensure that the people of Yahweh, through your teaching, through your instructions, through the principle by which you function, the people must be able to see that Yahweh is different. It therefore means that the priority in reference to how we think must not be how the people feel, how the people react to what you say, how saints may despise you if you take a certain stance. The people of Yahweh must see him as being holy. And I'm going to open the text today to show you whose responsibility it is. We don't have the luxury as leaders of Yahweh's people of allowing them to think that their God, that our God, can be treated as though he were just an ordinary God. Brother Chris and Sister Corinne, good to see you both. Shalom, and thank you for being here. When Israel, those who were freed from Egyptian bondage after 430 years, when they experienced another issue where they did not have water in this environment, instead of reflecting on the potency, reflecting on the power of their God and his ability to free them and to make a way for them, the same one who was a pillar of fire by night and a cloud over them by day to keep them cool in the desert, the same one, when they encountered lack, they attacked leadership. I would that you'll hear me. When they encountered lack, they attacked leadership. When they discovered that their animals that they were allowed to leave Egypt with would have suffered and they may have had losses, they attacked the man who held the rod out to free them or for them to cross the Red Sea, and who held the same rod out for the sea to close and kill their enemies. When they encountered lack, they forgot about the miracle of Moshe hitting the rock and water flowing out of it for them to drink. It's amazing, saints. It's remarkable to know what lack can bring out of a saint. When they would say to Moshe, we wish, verse 3, the people quarreled with Moshe and said, we wish we had died when our brothers died before Yahweh. Why did you bring Yahweh's community into this desert? They wished they had died when their brothers died because lack was before them. Listen to me. They had no water. It didn't say that they were dying of thirst. Oh my God. Oh Lord, help us. The lack of water does not mean that you're dying of thirst. It just means that they were anticipating that when they need water and when the animals would have needed water, they would not have had it. Shalom, shalom, Pastor Mill. The people of Israel who were free to worship Yahweh. Yahweh told Moshe to tell Pharaoh to let his people go so that they can worship him on the mountain. That was the instruction, not just let them go. He said, let my people go so that they may worship me on this mountain. Now, when they were freed to worship, and they were traveling towards the land of promise, the people of Israel, who were supposed to be in a posture of worship, went into a posture of aggression towards leadership because they had lack. I say to you again, it's remarkable what a saint can become. Some saints, when they encounter lack. It's amazing some people can say, I don't have time with Tammo, I don't have time with Lambert, because we won't call him Zechariah. I don't have time with Bissoon, I don't have time with whoever else it is. I don't care what Pastor Reggie, Pastor Woods, and anybody. I will do what I want because after all, they're not going through what I'm going through. May I help you? That Moshe and Aaron were among the same people who didn't have water. It was the entire assembly who would have arrived at Kadesh, and they did not have water, which included Moshe and Aaron. Those people, instead of saying, let me observe how my leader functions when he doesn't have, they decided it's time to attack the leader because they lack. Instead of observing how the leaders functioned in the face of this, what may have been an issue, they decided that the better posture to take was to attack the people who brought us here. Saints of Yahweh, lack can cause you to forget about your freedom and to focus on what you don't have. If your cupboard is empty, at least you're no longer a prostitute. If your cupboard is empty, at least you're no longer a sodomite. If your cupboard is empty, at least you're no longer a drunkard. You're no longer strung out in drugs, whatever the sins you want to talk about. You're no longer living persistently, consistently being a menace to yourself and to other people. If your cupboard is empty, it does not mean that you are not free. Are you free? Do you value the freedom? The people of Yahweh turned against their leader because they felt that when the animals had need of water, they would have not had it and they would have died. Mama Rosie, love you so much, and shalom. Let me proceed. They said, why did you make us leave Egypt? Why would you bring us deliverance? Why would we be delivered from bondage, from being beaten, from being made to make bricks without mud, without straw? Why would you free us? Why? Why, Moshe? Why would you take us out from this Egyptian bondage to bring us here to kill us? I know in the US they talk about Black History Month being the month of February. What is painful to know is that even some of you are called saints and are of African descent, or you're actually Hebrew people, in reference to your biological features. It's just painful to know that there are saints who prefer bondage so that they would not have lack. Let me say it to you again. There are saints who prefer bondage so that they would not have lack. That is so painful. It is so tragic, but I will need to tell you again. There are saints who prefer bondage so that they would not have lack. Oh, let me help you. Mel, good to see you. Good to see you, Melanie. There are saints who prefer the bondage of an oppressive relationship just so that they would not have to be out on the road. So you endure any degree of maltreatment just to have a place to lay your head. There are saints who would be prepared to endure abuse from their spouse just because the house is too big for them to walk out of it. You prefer bondage just so you wouldn't have lack. Yahweh freed his people so that they can worship him. Worship means to bow self down. He freed them so that self would not be present when he would have done his work. They'd be prepared, they would have been prepared to put their passions, their desires, their anguish, their pains, and everything else down and say, this is secondary to me. When I think of the fact that I'm no longer being awakened by whips, I'm no longer being buried. Our brothers are no longer being buried in the sand. Boulders are not being crushed by stones and just being made to be lion food or whatever. They were free. But they despised their freedom because they thought that they were going to die of thirst. Verse number 7. Yahweh said to Moshe, take the staff. I want you all to hear me. Yahweh said to Moshe, take the same staff that you put over the Red Sea, pointed to the sea and it opened, and then pointed and it closed. The same staff that you used to hit the rock with and they drank water before. Take that very staff. Assemble the community. So now the complainers and those who were arguing against Moshe didn't know or didn't have a chance to see the glory of Yahweh appearing to Moshe. I want to hear me clearly. When Moshe and Aaron left the people who were arguing and went to the gate, or the entrance of the tabernacle of worship, when they got there and they fell on their faces, the glory of Yahweh, the presence of Yahweh, he manifested himself to them in a manner that they could know that he is there. The glory of Yahweh appeared to Moshe and Aaron. And Yahweh said to Moshe, assemble the people. Bring the whole community together. You and Aaron, your brother. Take the staff. And before their eyes, tell the rock to produce its water. This is not a hype message, saints. This is not one for you to run around and holler as because you get money and house and cars. I always tell you all that. I want you to hear, by Yahweh's grace, the depth of what I'm saying to you. The rock had water. Oh, y'all don't miss this. Please don't miss this. And nothing is simple when Yahweh is speaking to you. They were in a place where they were complaining. Sister Mish, love you there. At the place where they were complaining and they were prepared to say, let us be in bondage, water was present. I want somebody to hear me today, man. The place where they stopped to oppose Yahweh's appointed servants is where the water was. Oh my God. Do you know, many of you, on the day that you may choose to disrespect Yahweh's servants, is that very day that Yahweh would have had that word to get you out of that situation, that instruction, that advice. Well, he doesn't give advice, he gives commands. The place at which they were had water. It was a rock that had water in it, but they couldn't see it. Nobody said to Moshe, as they could have said, Moshe, as you did before, speak to this rock, or hit the rock. They could have told him that. Hit the rock. You did it before, Moshe. Just tap on some rocks around here. Let's see if water will come out. They did not even do that. They just figured out that this is the perfect time to attack leadership. Saints, the place at which they stood to oppose Yahweh's appointed servant was the place where the water was. So when they said there and the animals were going to die, they didn't know that provision was hidden. But Yahweh hid it long enough for them to reveal how they thought about him. And something else is about to come out of this matter here. I say to you, saints, again, that there is so much of an individual that can be revealed when they have lack. If they got to the rock and water was running out of it, they would never attack Moshe. Let me just warn you all today. Much of what's being said to you today would not be ABC language. I could put it that way. Please. Complaints blind the vision from seeing provisions. My goodness. And make some contentious. Thank you, Pastor Mel. This is not ABC language. Because you will hear in the Spirit, with the Spirit, and by the Spirit. If water was flowing out of the rock at Kadesh, they would not be saying to Moshe, they would not have said to Moshe, you brought us out here to die. Why didn't you leave us where we were? Why didn't Yahweh kill us when right where our brothers were dying? So it tells me then that praise from a place of abundance does not always reveal the true nature of a person. And I'm saying that across the board. I'll repeat it. Praise from a place of abundance does not always reveal the true nature of a person. Some people are polite when they have a lot. Some folk are submissive to leadership when they have a lot. Some individuals are extremely obedient when they have a lot. Oh, some can honor you as a man of God when they have a lot. But when they perceive that there is no more to be had, or they have run out of what they have, praise ends and accusation becomes the order of the day. Praise from a place of abundance does not always reveal the true nature of a person. Even in the secular, even in your job, you'll see it. Some people, if you're paying them every day, you're the nicest person. If you're giving them something all the time and they need it, you're the best person in the world. You're such a nice person. Oh my God, your mama, your papa, your daddy, your dad, your apostle, your uncle, your aunt, you're everything. You're my brother, you're my dog, you're my number one, and we like this forever. And the moment that you stop and a lack or a need is created in their space, look out. The rock had water, but Yahweh hid it long enough for us to see who was talking how they felt about leadership and how they felt about even their freedom. So, oh glory. So Moshe took the staff. Moshe took the staff from the presence of Yahweh as he had ordered him. Listen to this. But after Moshe and Aharon had assembled the community in the front of the rock, Moshe said to them, listen here, you rebels. Are we supposed to bring you water from this rock? So he's mad now. Yahweh told him to go to this rock. Yahweh told him that. Assemble the community before their eyes, tell the rock to produce water. That was a divine instruction. The glory of Yahweh showed up to the leader. And Yahweh said to the leader, go to this rock. Bring the people together and tell the rock to produce water. Moshe got the rod. Boy, I don't want to miss this. Oh my God, please, Father, don't let them miss this. Yahweh told Moshe to pick up the staff, the same staff that he hit the rock with before, and water came out. The same staff that he held over the Red Sea, and the sea parted. The very staff that he held it again, and it closed. Yahweh said to Moshe, take the staff. I would that a leader can hear me today. I wish that somebody can hear me as they should in the spirit today. Why would Yahweh tell Moshe to carry a staff but to talk to a rock? Leaders, you all be careful. This is coming for you right here. This is coming for you as leaders of your house, wherever it is. This is coming for you who are leaders. Yahweh told Moshe to pick up the staff. I wish I had one. I like showing you things when I'm preaching certain things to y'all. Yahweh said to hold the staff. Do I have one? Okay. I have my grandbaby's toy. A colorful staff. Yahweh said to Moshe, pick up the staff. Oh my Lord, help me today. And talk to the rock. So Moshe went to the people. He gathered the people now. The people are before him. And he said to them, you rebels, are we supposed to bring you water from this rock? Oh my God, have mercy. Then Moshe raised his hand and hit the rock twice with his staff. Water flowed out of the rock in abundance. Oh my Lord. And the community and their livestock drank. Moshe took the staff. You all hear me carefully. Yahweh said to Moshe, take the staff, go before the people, speak to the rock, and it shall produce water. Moshe assembled the people. He spoke to the people and he hit the rock. This is not a Sunday school and Sabbath school message I'm talking to you about here. Because you will hear it the way it should be heard from an apostle of Yeshua the Messiah. Moshe was told not to speak to the people. Assemble the people. Talk to the rock. Moshe spoke to the people and he hit the rock. Saints of the Most High Yahweh, the rock produced water in abundance. Though Moshe did what he wasn't told to do. The people received an abundance of water Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Shalom, El. That's fine. You can watch the rebroadcast. You'll get it. The rock began to produce water so much that the animals could have it, the owners could have it. Everybody had an abundant supply of water. Because although Moshe did not obey Yahweh, the rock still produced something which was needed, which is water. Out of the situation came a response. But Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron, because you did not trust in me. Listen to this carefully. Numbers chapter 20 verse 12. Because you did not trust in me, so as to cause me to be regarded as holy by the people of Israel, you will not bring this community into the land I have given them. I will kill all two y'all. Please y'all don't miss this. I beg you not to miss this. Please don't miss this. Because Moshe failed to speak to what Yahweh said. Yahweh said to him, the rock will produce water. It produced water. The people were full. Their thirst was quenched because they weren't thirsty in the first place. They drank. The animals drank. But Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron, I will kill both of you. I will kill all two of you because you failed to allow my people to see me as being holy. Oh, who am I talking to this afternoon? Who am I speaking to? You, as a leader, you failed to allow my people. You didn't trust me when I said to speak to it. You failed to cause my people to see me as a holy God. And because you made my people have the wrong impression about me, I will kill you. You'll understand. Do you understand, you Jesus preachers now who get mad at me, why I am the way I am? Do you all understand that yet? Do you understand what it is for you to stand before people and give them the impression that this holy God could submit to humanity and do what you say? Do you understand that you could tell people, oh, we could call him what we want. We could call him whatever we feel like. Because he is subjected to how we feel. Oh, my baby's all in today. Huh? Do you understand the danger that you're playing with? When you do not cause people to see the true and living, the only true and living God as being holy? Huh? Yahweh said to them, the fact that you could not cause my people to see me as holy, I will kill you. You are not going into the land that I promised you. You heard Eva Quincy. Boy, she feeling the spirit today. Yahweh said, listen, I told you to speak to this rock. Because when he said, assemble the people. Now, once the people had been assembled, the people would have been able to see wow. The people would have been able to see the glory of Yahweh. And they would have been able to say that our God was able to produce water for us. So although, don't miss this, although they were complaining, there was still an avenue for Yahweh's glory to be seen by his people and for them to say that he is holy, meaning he's unlike every other God. Moshe did not do that. And Yahweh said to him that you will not lead these people into the place of promise. You and Aaron, you wouldn't do it. Because the leader of Yahweh's people are supposed to cause Yahweh's people to see him as being holy. So when they ask you as a leader, is it okay for us to celebrate Valentine's Day? Because our first day of love, and you don't want to offend anybody. So you say, yes, go ahead. Yeah, there's not a problem. After all, it's love. And there's nothing wrong with love. When they ask if is it okay for us to go and, this a Jesus environment, and they're not aggressive towards Yeshua. They're nice people. And I just want to go there with my family so we can interact and we can just have wonderful, warm fellowship. And you as a leader say to them, it's not a problem, because after all, there's no danger to it. Did you make your God appear to be holy? Let me ask you certain questions as leaders here in this broadcast. Do you cause people around you to know that your God is holy? Now let's talk. Do you as a leader cause people around you to know that your God is holy? Do you? Do you based on your qualities of a leader, make the saints understand that you do not intend to compromise the standards of your God to accommodate them? Do you do that? Or is it a case whereby if somebody is liked by you, then Yahweh's standards is reduced to accommodate them? Is that the kind of leader you are? Whereby it is not his authority, his principles, his way, his path that matters to you? What impression do saints have about you? What this? That will cause them to see Yahweh differently. It's quite a terrible thing for a saint to be able to look at a leader in reference to whatever principle, whatever standard, whatever matter there is. And that individual, that saint, does not see Yahweh's righteous standard being upheld by that leader. When they look at you, do they have a clear understanding that Yahweh is holy? I want you all to hear me. I want you to hear me clearly. When they interact with you, do they have a clear understanding that Yahweh is holy? Wives, submit to your husband is non-negotiable. When they hear you speak, do they have that understanding? Husbands, love your wives as Messiah loved the church and gave himself for her. Do they have that clear understanding that love is patient, it's kind, but it also does not rejoice in evil? So do they understand from you when you say that I love you as a saint, that you are unprepared to accept anything called evil from them? Do they have that understanding? What about your children? Do they understand what your position as a leader? Do they have clarity as to what holiness is in reference to who he is? are you one of Yahweh's chosen servants who can cause your children to believe that it is not that serious? It's never such a big deal. After all, is that the quality of person that you are as a leader? Yahweh must be seen as holy. Nothing else. Holy. You do not have room to classify him as anything else. Moshe hit the rock twice. The rock produced water for Yahweh's people. The people drank. The animals drank. But Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron, to the law and the priesthood. y'all can't go here right now at all. Huh? To the law and the Levitical priesthood, you will not get my people into the promised land. Oh my God. Yahweh said to the law and the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood, that you will not get my people into the promised land. You would not lead them. Because Shaul did right. That the law was given so that sin could essentially be made manifested or stronger. So you have a need for rescue. It was called a schoolmaster. It held you confined, Galatians chapter 4. It held them in bondage. The Levitical priesthood of killing lambs and killing rams and bullocks and turtle doves could not get you to the promised land. And therefore the two people who represented that could not lead Israel to the promised land. Oh, I'm about to leave here. My daughter just told me that she's in an issue, so I have to deal with that for sure. But the people of Yahweh, who were complaining as well, you know what Yahweh said to them? Let me advance in this broadcast, this message, and talk to you. The same set who kept complaining all the time and say, oh, we're going to die here. And there was a preacher who, of course, they do not read thoroughly. As I said, this is what you call pretext, context. And then there was what we call the whole conclusion of a matter, the complete thought. They kept saying to Moshe, you brought us here to die. Every time there's a problem, you brought us here to kill us. It's better if you died. Listen to me. Everyone 21 years old, I think it would have been. And older, you know what Yahweh said? And the preacher read that in Numbers, and he said, you see, look. He said, God said that whatever you say, I'll do that. So he said, no, we could command this God. The Bible said you could command God. I said, yeah. Let's go to the text then. And the text reads, but I paraphrase. Yahweh said, because you keep saying what I'll do to you all the time in the wilderness, I'll kill you, well, you'll die right here. That's what he said. He said, exactly what you keep saying, I will do to you, I will do it. I will kill you. They didn't command him. He was saying to them that because you consistently complain, I will kill you. So they complained, they drank, but they did not see the promised land. Well, hear me. They complained, they murmured, they argued against leadership. And I'm leaving you here now. Gotta go. What's this? They felt satisfied in that their thirst was quenched, but their destiny was determined. Don't assume that because you feel full, you've met the promised land, or you've attained that which you should have. Feeling a sense of satisfaction and feeling that if, oh, today the word was good and my thirst has been quenched, you don't know what your end is. Because for as long as you are disrespectful to Yahweh's leadership and Yahweh's set authority, he could judge them for what they did, but you would not escape. So when the people drank, they felt satisfied. They didn't complain anymore, but their end was not over. Feeling as if you have been satisfied is not the conclusion of the matter. Knowing that you've been justified is the conclusion. Do you trust Yahweh to know that you've been justified, or are you just one who wants to be satisfied? So whenever things don't go your way, you have to accuse the leaders of something, you have to attack the leaders for something, you have to speak down and fight and all that. Oh my Lord, my Lord. And the complaints to have an immediate need met resulted in those who were 21 and above, I think it would have been. Yahweh said, I'm going to kill every last one of you. And that's why Yehoshua said to them, that in the loins of your fathers, you came out of Egypt, because the fathers died in the wilderness. Saints, it's a painful thing for me to say this to you this afternoon, but it is Yahweh's people we're dealing with here. You can be freed from something and die in something else. I hope that you get this, because I'm leaving you right here. You could be freed from that bondage and die in freedom. I don't know who helped you to get that. Maybe in the spirit of Yahweh himself. You can be freed from bondage and die in freedom. Watch your mouth. Watch your attitude. Leaders, be careful with what you say when people or saints are dealing with you. If Yahweh tells you to talk to them, talk. If Yahweh says to say nothing, do not say a word. Do not allow sins to drag you into doing anything that goes beyond what he has ordered. You can be free from bondage and die in freedom. Do not go beyond that which he has said to you. Praying and crying to be free from something does not mean that your attitude, your behavior, your conduct regarding Yahweh and his way is in order. I implore you, I beg of you, do not die in freedom because you're complaining instead of valuing where you are. Do not suffer because your mouth cannot be adjusted to the closed position when Yahweh didn't tell you to talk. Every saint who interacts with the leader of Yahweh must know that he is holy. You must. If there's anything else that you must always bear in your mind, is that whenever a saint is interacting with you, they must be aware that Yahweh is holy. When you tell them that Yahweh is love, do you demonstrate the same to them? If he's different from any other God and he demonstrates mercy, do you show mercy to the saints? How do you tell them that he's merciful when you're not? When he says that he has enemies, how are they your friends? When he says that he hates a lying tongue, how you say that those who say Jesus to you are okay and y'all are cool? Because after all, you call him what you want. Yahweh is holy. We must demonstrate the same to those who are under our watch. And in demonstrating that, many times over, the little feelings get hurt sometimes. Because the different God, which means holy, is uncompromising. Since I bid you shalom, and I thank Yahweh for this time we spent, though it was brief. For me, I have done my job, and I give him glory for that. As always, I thank him for your kindness, those of you who understand and are obedient. I'm grateful for him keeping those of you, causing you to stand and to remain in your posture of righteousness. I love you, and may the grace of Yahweh keep you. Thank you so much, Daddy. I appreciate it. I love y'all. We'll talk. Bye-bye.